So welcome. We back again, another Monday's crypto class. We're gonna be covering altcoin gems, bear market opportunities for crypto, right? Um, that is the topic this evening. I have a special guest. I'll cover who that is in just a second. She's fire with research and crypto and everything that she does, man. So I'm gonna touch on that in a second, but um, what I like to, for the people who are new here, what I like to do before we get into the main topic, we do a quick market overview and, a few other things relating to certain currencies or cryptocurrencies. But before I get into that, I like to introduce y'all to one of my dear friends, Loretta. Like y'all see her name up here. She's multifaceted, like very good friend of mine. But besides being a good friend of mine, she's dope at, this thing we call crypto. Like she knows the in and out, she knows the basics, she knows the fundamentals about a lot of cryptocurrencies. It's over 20,000 of them out there. So you can't, follow everyone, but the ones that matter, like, yeah, she knows about, and we're gonna touch on some of those, but yeah, she's great at what she does. So y'all definitely, keep your ears, take notes of the altcoins that we're gonna be covering. Some of them,
like D-Wiz, can I add something?
Yeah, give me 1 second though. But to add to that, the altcoins that we're gonna cover, like none of this is financial advice, but these are opportunities that we see that will provide great opportunities when we turn bullish again. So just tune in and then go ahead, Moody. You got it, bro.
Oh, it was just real quick. I just wanted to add and shout out Loretta as well. Loretta is a dear friend of mine as well. God bless you. A dear friend to me as well. Loretta is someone that's just always willing to help and just go the extra mile. She just really she didn't know who I was, and I was just in a Discord. She was just all in my DMs, and then we got on the phone, and she just kept continually to help me and to do the things that I was doing. She was there when I was able to quit my job and continue to push. She was somebody that always, helped keep me grounded and just push me, and just continue to tell me, Moody, just keep studying. You're doing so great. I haven't seen somebody learn this so quick. She always just, motivated me. And not only motivated me, she is nasty when it comes to crypto. Like when I tell you nasty. Like I know I said it before in MSC, but you can check old interview videos that I'll drop in the Discord here soon is on another YouTube. But you'll see even Bitcoin Zay like talk about coins that she was already talking about, and you can see everybody's excitement, like, oh my God, she's a gold mine and stuff of that nature. But like when it comes to researching, everything that you ever heard me say about D'Angelo, how he's a wizard and things of that nature, she is exactly the same way. If you guys need any kind of help, please make sure to reach out to her. She's willing to help you. And Loretta, just thank you for being here.
Oh, thank y'all for having me.
Most certainly, man. Look, and just to add to, I know some of y'all who are here, y'all have heard me mention about Solana, right? And I got into Solana because of Loretta. Like she was preaching to us, like, This is a great project. Like it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. I got into Solana specifically because of two things. Because Loretta was preaching, and then I got confirmation when Bitcoin Zay, which is a very prominent figure in the Black community as far as cryptocurrency, said that Solana would be a special project. And I got into Solana at $23. She was in it before then. We ran that wave up to over $200.
She told everybody when it was at $5, get in Solana, nobody listened. When it was at $13, she said, get in Solana, nobody listened. D-Wiz, you got in at 23. I got in at like at least 28 or 38. It was one of those two numbers. I have to go look. But No, yeah, it did retarded numbers. And she continued, even when it hit $50, she told people, buy Solana, buy Solana. It's still early and cheap. And that thing ran. But go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, it did. But we're gonna get into this thing, man. Like I said,
All
we
right.
always start the class with a market update, and we can't start that without talking about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin moves the crypto markets overall. So I've been adding on and taking away a little bit here and there relating to this chart. I tried to label it so you can clearly see some of the things that have been going on. But as we, go back in time and we see how the market pushed up within this trend in the purple, during this channel here, we had, Bitcoin pushing up because of the Ethereum merge announcement, and it rallied until it reached a point of exhaustion, and it broke back below through this channel because buyers weren't enthused anymore. So this rally here was primarily because of Ethereum. So Ethereum pushed this market up, and Bitcoin followed suit by adding to the flavor on that. So we had a break below this trend, and we started to push up again, but then we got the announcement from the Fed last week, which not only sold off the crypto market, but it also sold off the stock market. I think the stock market lost like $1.25 trillion last week after this announcement from Jerome Powell. So the crypto market followed suit, and it broke below this trend and sold off, and now we're getting a slight pushback up, but it could be short-lived. But what we do have around the corner, which the 15th and the 16th of September, we have the Ethereum merge occurring. So I see two scenarios possibly happening. I could see us kind of consolidate in this area. We could push lower, retest the previous low of last month. We could retest the low of the current bottom, which was at $17,567. So we could go back and retest that. But I do believe likely leading up to the 15th and the 16th of September, when the Ethereum merge occurs, I do believe we will have a slight pump. I don't think we'll break above these areas that we were before. I think if we do get to these areas, I think we'll likely, reach a point of resistance, and we'll kind of consolidate. And shortly after the merge occurs, I believe we'll get some FUD, which will push the market back down. So that's Bitcoin, and this kind of goes the same for Ethereum, but I want to show y'all that. I can show y'all this also. So I was playing with this earlier. So, Bitcoin is, ranging within this trend currently. So I can see us either break up or come back down and break even lower, but I kind of touched on that just a second ago. But let's look at Ethereum. So the Ethereum, like I said, it has the same, ongoings that Bitcoin did. We had, like I mentioned before, ETH 2.0 was announced. The merge was announced. We got that pump, moved up. We got to a period of exhaustion, and we started to break down. So we're within the same trend that the previous chart just showed with Bitcoin. So I'm looking for us to potentially break out of this and go back to the upside, leading up to the merge, or we can break lower and then we try to break back to newer highs. I mean, break back into this area here, and I'd see this area being a point of resistance, and then we break back down to retest the lows. And I'm not sure if many of y'all have been on the past previous classes, but I gave my theory about the Bitcoin bottom. I'm not going to touch on it this week, but I'm looking at a bottom for Bitcoin based off of my theory of the halvings related to Bitcoin, and I'm looking at a bottom for Bitcoin in the fourth quarter of this year, around November the 25th. So y'all just, stay tuned and let's see if that happens. I'm thinking roughly around a week before November the 25th or a week after. And if y'all want to know about that theory, I'll talk about it like at the end of the class, but I don't want to touch on it again. I've been kind of like giving an overview of it for the past 3 weeks or so. But let's go back here and we'll just cover the top 5 cryptocurrencies and how they perform over the last 7 days. So in the last 7 days, and this, let me refresh this. The last 7 days, like I said, Bitcoin has dropped after that Jackson Hole announcement last week from the Fed. So it's currently down 5.2% in 7 days. And then we got Ethereum that's down 4.7%. And Tether is a stable coin. USDC is a stable coin. BNB is down 4.4%. BUSD is a stable coin. XRP is down 3.4%, and Cardano is down 2.2%. So you can see the others, they're down a little bit more than those. Solana. For the record, I don't feel the same way about Solana anymore. I think it's on the brink of being a dead chain. I mentioned that a few times here and there, but it doesn't perform very well like it should. But I'm not going to touch on that too heavily. So let's get into the next thing on the list, which is the top performing asset of the week, which is eCash. The ticker for eCash is XEC. So this project here it's went through a few forks or name changes, I would say. And I'll get on the topic on why it, pumped this week and it's the top performing asset of the week. But eCash was originally a fork of Bitcoin. Well, it was a fork of Bitcoin, which became Bitcoin Cash ABC. And then it rebranded to eCash, and now it's XEC, right? And you see the price value has changed significantly. I don't personally own this token. I see, some people say that it's a promising project, but I've not really seen many forks of Bitcoin really hold any weight. But I do like some of the things that this project is doing. It's trying to affiliate itself with other layer 1 blockchains. And that's one of the primary reasons that eCash is pumping this week. And we'll get into that. I was going to go through all this, but it's not necessarily needed. Let's just touch on why this thing is moving. Well, give me a second. Let me pull up because I know I pulled the chart. You can see it moved. It had a 70% move to the upside. It's retraced since then. Will it sustain that? Likely not. As you can see, it came back to a level of support and it's starting to trend back up slightly. But I don't think it'll even sustain that over a longer duration. So, but the news that came out about eCash was pretty dope. And I've talked about this other layer 1 blockchain project, which is Avalanche. And Avalanche, if you've not heard of Avalanche, is one of my favorite projects. It should have made this list or the topic today as far as altcoin gems, but I didn't put it because it's one of the, I could have put it. I should have put it, but it's dope. Avalanche, it is comprised of, it is a layer 1 blockchain like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano is the same, and it uses a consensus mechanism like proof of stake, which that's what Ethereum is shifting to, right? But
hey, D-Wiz.
What's up, bro?
I got a question. What is proof of stake?
So proof of stake is a protocol that allows you, if I describe proof of stake, I'm gonna have to describe proof of work. So Bitcoin operates on a protocol that utilizes proof of work, right? Proof of work is where you have miners that mine for Bitcoin. They're actually providing a function. They're using computing power to retrieve or earn more Bitcoin, right? It uses a lot of energy to do so. Proof of stake doesn't require a tenth or 1% of that energy. And this is one reason why Ethereum is shifting from proof of work to proof of stake. With proof of stake, the only thing that it requires is, instead of you having miners, you have validators, and validators confirm the transactions on the network, right? And to become a validator, you have to purchase a certain amount of cryptocurrency that will enable the staking concept for proof of stake. Now, stake, man, you got me going, Moody. Look,
I'm sorry.
You gotta keep it, somewhat easy, D'Angelo. If you go all into the blockchain and
I don't want to do that.
So basically,
I appreciate it though.
the proof of stake though is a lot less risky in ways than the proof of work as well, because the attacks and hacking and stuff like that less. And I mean, unless you want to get deep down into it, D'Angelo, I don't know how else you're gonna explain.
Yeah, I don't. Look, I'm gonna come. Moody, ask me again at the end. I'll go deeper in the AMA.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Simply, proof of stake, in order for it to work, instead of utilizing computing power, you simply have to buy a certain amount of tokens to become a staker, and you can earn yield and earn more cryptocurrency by holding those coins in a pool or wallet, an exchange, however you want to see it. But that's like a simple answer for it. But we can go deeper into it, bro. But that is proof of stake. But to get back on,
I don't want you to go deeper into it, bro. I just was asking the question because I know you're talking about it and I know it's important. So I just wanted people to understand like why it's important.
Yeah, no, it's definitely important because a lot of blockchains are either shifting to proof of stake or they're starting as proof of stake. Likely 90% of the projects that are developing are a form of proof of stake or something other than proof of work, because the proof of work blockchains are getting backlash because they're not, they're using too much energy, or they're trying to push them to go on and using clean energy. So, but yeah, I appreciate the question, bro. I could really dig, and I don't want to go over nobody's head and be too technical about it. But to go back to eCash, right? Like I was mentioning, Avalanche, and I probably scrolled too much. Let's see. So yeah, eCash, as this article says, it was up over 30%. That was last week, actually. It was up over 30%, but it made it the top performing asset for the last 7 days, right? But the reason for that is because it has partnered with Avalanche, and Avalanche has its own blockchain. It's its own blockchain, but within Avalanche, they have the ability to add other chains to its blockchain, which will allow other projects to create, build, add to their ecosystem. And that's what they did with eCash. So on September the 14th, eCash will be going live with their mainnet, utilizing the Avalanche consensus mechanism. So, but yeah, it gives eCash a lot more like ability, to where they're shifting from the proof of work concept that Bitcoin has, and it opens them up to a lot more things that they wouldn't be able to do if they just stuck with proof of work. Now, you still have ability to do a lot of things on proof of work, but you just really have to innovate, and that's what they're doing is innovative. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. I was gonna really go. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, that is eCash, and that's why it pumped. It's because the announcement for September 14th. Now, one thing, rule of thumb, and y'all have heard this before, when trading, to buy the rumor, sell the news. So come September 14th, don't expect eCash to continue pumping. And that goes for like I mentioned with the Ethereum merge, right? The Ethereum merge come the September the 15th and 16th. I don't expect Ethereum to, jump that day. All the money has been made leading up to it. If it does jump that day, that would be extremely surprising to me. That means everything went right with that project. And that's likely not going to be the case because there's a lot of people that don't want to see Ethereum shift to proof of stake. But we're going to keep it moving. And the main topic today is Altcoin Gem, but I still have to give y'all an Altcoin Gem of the week. Carlos said Pino, Piccolo, Inu. That sounds like a straight poop corn, but we'll talk about it. We will talk about it, bro. Bring it up. Bring it up in the AMA. But that's definitely that definitely sounds like a poop corn. But yeah, we'll talk about it. But right now, we're gonna get into the altcoin of the week, which is Stargate Finance. Now, I've already put this project on the crypto watch list within the server. So as you can see, it is, it is its own blockchain, but it was, initially built on the Ethereum blockchain using the Optimism ecosystem, which makes its transactions extremely cheap in comparison to things that are built on Ethereum. But with Stargate Finance, and y'all will see this and I didn't plan for it to be like this, but you'll see when we cover some of these altcoin gems, there's going to be a theme with some of the ones that we cover. And the theme is interoperability, multi-chain, and things of that nature. Now, that's not all of them, but in the future with cryptocurrency, you're going to see, and I'm going to get to Stargate, but I won't tell y'all this. You're going to see a shift to where, and this is why I'm projecting, right? My opinion, but you're going to see a shift to where if you have a blockchain that can't communicate and you can't trade assets from this blockchain to the other seamlessly, then that blockchain that you're utilizing will likely be obsolete, right? So to curb that, typically you have what they call a bridge that'll interact between the two blockchains. So for instance, you'll have Ethereum, where you only have Ethereum assets on one blockchain. And then you'll have Cardano, where you'll only have Cardano assets on the other blockchain. But you want to swap an Ethereum asset for Cardano asset seamlessly. In between those blockchains, you'll develop a bridge. Now, they've been developing these bridges, and those are the most hacked projects in crypto. Almost every other week, you hear about a bridge that's been exploited. One of the most valuable hacks was through a bridge or a side chain. It was the Axie Infinity side chain. Like those added layers to a blockchain, they lose security when you add those added layers, but specifically for bridges. Now, to talk about Stargate, and I'm gonna give y'all details about it on their website. So just looking at Stargate, let me scroll down here. I'll tell y'all what it's about. So Stargate is a project that is creating what they call an omni-chain. So omni-chain is, like I mentioned, it provides that interoperability to allow projects to seamlessly move assets from one blockchain to the next, like without having any issues by doing so, or wrapping the asset. So you may have seen on different centralized or decentralized exchanges where you'll see a wrapped Bitcoin. You'll see something that says WBTC or WETH or W something. Those are wrapped assets, meaning that they're equivalent to the actual asset in value, but they're not the actual asset. So you still hold that value. It's just because these are built on different blockchains, they're compensating you with something that's equivalent in value, and they're wrapping it with the chain or the protocol that is being utilized on. So for instance, if you wanted to utilize Bitcoin on Ethereum, you would have a WBTC version, or on Polygon, you would have a WBTC version. But with a project like Stargate, it allows you to not have to deal with wrapped assets. And when you deal with most wrapped assets, you're typically going through those bridges to get those. And like I mentioned, bridges are some of the most exploited protocols that are being developed in crypto. Like if you're a full-fledged hacker and I can't advise somebody to do that. If you're a white hat hacker and you trying to get paid by telling somebody, hey, you have this exploit, hey, I'm showing you this because, you know, somebody who was a black hat hacker, they could come and rob you. Like, bridges are the way to go to find those, because people are like hacking these bridges and making millions of dollars in crypto by robbing people. But a lot of times, if you're like a white hat hacker, you can tell them and they'll pay you, compensate you for finding a bug. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna keep it moving. But let's get into and I think I have it. No, I'm gonna pull it here. So, but like I mentioned, with Stargate, it utilizes a omni chain, and an omni chain, like I said, is focused on interoperability amongst various chains. And when I read about this, and I hope y'all don't hear my son, because he is screaming. He's singing his favorite song around this time. But yeah, omni chain, as you can see, it has a lot of value, like $662 million locked. So that shows that it has a very
bro, we
healthy...
can't hear anything.
Okay, cool. That shows that that it has a very healthy ecosystem with that amount of money locked up into its chain. So when I first came across this project, I didn't know what omni-chain was, but as like I mentioned, it allows for cross-chain compatibility amongst other chains, where you can transfer a native asset from one chain to another without having to get a wrapped version of it, right? And that's gonna be big. That's gonna be major, leading into...
Hey, bro, can you repeat that one more time? It went over my head a little bit.
Which part?
About Stargate.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, it utilizes what is called an omni chain, and with omni chains, it allows for you to transfer native assets from one blockchain to another, and you still receive that asset in its original form. You don't get a wrapped version. Now, that's not so much issue all the time, but if you want to utilize a native asset on another chain or somewhere else, or you just trying to move it from one location to the next, like, it could pose an issue because it's wrapped. But like I mentioned a little bit earlier, projects like this, like, they will pave the way for true interoperability amongst different blockchains, and that's what we're gonna need. When you go about and you finally get into crypto to where you can utilize crypto as a form of payment, you don't want to go to a store and they say, okay, we don't accept this version of your crypto that you have, or we don't accept this crypto. Like you want to have a tool where you can say, okay, well, I have Stargate. Let me send you. You only accept Polygon MATIC. Okay, well, I have Ethereum or I have Avalanche token. I'm gonna transfer my Avalanche through Stargate, and it'll convert and give you the asset that you want for me to use as a form of payment. That's what this tool is for. You don't have that ability right now. The only place that you have ability similar are on centralized exchanges, but we know about, not the bad centralized exchanges, but I highly suggest, based off of, recent data and past data, in history, a lot of centralized exchanges, they've been going belly up. Those that have been over leveraging and things of that nature. So you want to be able to be a sole custodian of your assets and be able to move those assets when and how you choose to do so. And this would add to the ability to do that. But yeah, I'm not going to dig into this like that, but I want y'all to put that on your mind. Like I said, this is a project that is on the crypto watch list, which is in the Discord. And I wrote a little blurb about it as far as what it does and what it provides. So definitely tap in and check into it. Come to the website and dig into it more, and y'all can see more about how it performs and what it does. But we're gonna keep it moving, man. I have a ton of altcoins to cover, and so these are the ones from the main topic. So that was the altcoin gem Stargate Finance. You can pull it up on CoinGecko like I did. I'm gonna close this out because I don't want too many things here. I'm gonna close out eCash and that data. But that leads us into the first altcoin gem bear market opportunity, the main topic that we want to discuss today, and that's Thorchain. And like I mentioned, like coincidentally, I got some questions here. Queen, she say we love to hear him though. I'll bring him on one day. I'll bring DJ on here. He can sing that favorite song he's singing right now. Robert says, will there be gas fees on this? The gas fees on Thorchain are extremely low, so they're not like Ethereum. Thanks, Loretta. She answered that question. She said yes, but a fraction of the price of Ethereum charges. Oh, okay. Yeah, they muted. But let's keep it moving. Thank y'all for asking the question. Thanks, Loretta, for responding there. And, I'm gonna mute whoever that is. I'm not sure who it is. Oh, hey, Jordan, catch that beat right there, bro. Okay, somebody mute. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Thorchain. Like I mentioned before, these projects, some of the projects that I'm gonna cover, they're gonna have some of the same elements that Stargate had, and Thorchain is one of those. I got into Thorchain last year, so I'm actually down, but I continue to dollar cost average. But I truly believe in this project. Thorchain provides interoperability. It provides, it's not a multi-chain project, but to describe it, it is a blockchain of its own that's built upon the Cosmos ecosystem, which is another cryptocurrency blockchain. It is a decentralized exchange, like simply put, but it does much more than your Uniswap or PancakeSwap or things like that. It does similar to what Stargate does. It swaps native assets from one blockchain to the next. Now, like I mentioned before, you can see this being done on centralized exchanges, but as we shift away further from decentralized exchanges and holding our assets on them, you know, we want to be able to utilize that same function that they have, because you've been on a centralized exchange like Coinbase and you immediately swap Ethereum for Shiba Inu or anything. You can do that like quick like that because it's on a centralized exchange and they own all the assets. They can do that easily. But there's, to my knowledge, Thorchain is the only decentralized exchange that allows you to swap cryptocurrencies from two different native assets, native chains. So let me hop on the thorchain.org real quick. And like I mentioned in the example relating to going to pay for an item in this particular retail store or wherever you're using your crypto to pay for stuff, it doesn't allow you to utilize a certain cryptocurrency. Like, that's where you have Thorchain. You're able to swap from one project that's on a different blockchain to another project on a different blockchain, which is major. So let's scroll down and look at it a little bit. Like, it's already launched. Like, you can utilize this function already. The project is, you know, it was making some waves a little earlier this year. The native token is Rune. So if you're looking up for Thorchain, look for RUNE. That is the ticker for it. And the way that it functions is this. It's simple, but I'm sure it's not very simple on the back end of this project. What they do is, if you want to swap, like you see this little example is showing you, is swapping Ethereum, the Bitcoin, the Litecoin, the Dogecoin. If you want to swap, we'll click on it real quick. You're not going to do it, but the way that it operates is, say you want to swap Bitcoin for Ethereum straight up. When you send that Bitcoin, it's going to convert your Bitcoin into Rune, which is the native asset of Thorchain. And then it's going to convert that Rune into Ethereum. And that's how you'll get it on the opposite end. It's more technical and complicated than that. But that is the simplified idea of how you would explain it. Like, it's a lot more complicated than that, because if it wasn't, it'll be a lot more projects trying to do it. But Thorchain is actually executing it and making that happen. So, but yeah, this is the first project that I would like for y'all to, you know, do your own research. I always recommend that. Do your own research and look into, because of that function. The future of cryptocurrency will rely on interoperability, cross-chain compatibility. Like, it's going to be heavy on that. And if you have a blockchain that can't interact with other chains seamlessly, how we interact by swiping our debit card, like, you might as well be a dead chain. And it's simple as that. That's my thoughts on it. But yeah, we're gonna move into our next asset, and I'm gonna bring on my battle buddy, Loretta. She gonna tap in and give y'all some gems about this project. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and bring her on. You ready, Loretta?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Let me stop sharing. Let me get off here. Stop. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing. Okay.
Hey, everybody. I'm Loretta. Thank you for having me. And the coin that I'm going to talk about is Kadena. The ticker is going to be KDA. And like D'Angelo was talking about, the interscalability, being able to communicate cross chains, that's definitely something that Kadena is doing. And as you can see right now, it's at $1.67. And when I'm looking at these coins, one of the things that I really look at is I go to CoinGecko and I'm looking over here to the right where it talks about the info. And I'm already looking and seeing that they have a lot of social media, and that they have a website, which we're going to go to right now. And Kadena is basically a layer 1 proof of work blockchain. It's got scalability. It enables Kadena to deliver really fast and at low fees. And one thing I like about Kadena is it's actually founded by Stuart Popejoy and Will Martino, which if you've ever heard of JP Morgan, Popejoy actually helped create the JP Morgan's blockchain group. And Will Martino was actually the FEC's lead tech for crypto steering committee. So we have a lot of great creators on building up Kadena. And what they're trying to do is, and I really believe in this project, is basically how Ethereum is going to go to the proof of stake. Kadena is a proof of work, so you're going to have miners that can mine Kadena. You're also going to be able to build on Kadena and have several different blockchains doing your smart contracts. They even have a virtual crypto gas station where when you're doing your transactions on the KDAX, which I'll go to in just a minute, you will actually have 0 fees on some of your transactions because of the crypto gas stations that Kadena is trying to implement.
Major.
Yes, major. And as you can see here, Cosmos, blockchain, Binance, these are the partners. Polkadot, I don't know if any of you have heard of Polkadot, but that is a we'll go into that later. But these are some of the partners for the products that they're building on. I really believe, right now the NFT market and being able to pay where it's secure, because we've heard of OpenSea getting, compromised. Also peer-to-peer, sometimes, it takes too long, the fees are too much. But Kadena is really trying to perfect that. It is a decentralized, financial coin as well. If we go here, I'm so sorry, y'all. How do you minimize this bar at the top, D'Angelo?
Minimize what part?
The bar at the top. It'll be all right. Hold on.
Oh yeah, hit that. That's what I have to do because you can't see the thing in the center, right?
Yeah.
Or it's blocking your tabs. Yeah, I have to do that too.
I apologize, everybody. So KDAX is it's DEX basically. It's decentralized exchange. And what this is offering is where you can stake, you can swap assets, and you can also, I know a lot of people don't know about liquidity pools or anything like that yet, but this is what it looks like. This is the gas station right here, where when you swap, so like if I wanted to swap right here, KDA for KDAX, which I could do, I can use this gas station and have no fees. I would connect my wallet, which is the Zelcore wallet. And then you can see here where you have liquidity, you can stake. It actually has a vault that has a lot more interest rates, and it tells you exactly how much is in there. That's very important. But this is another feature is, whenever you have somebody, that's telling you to invest or like look at something, I always look at everything it has to offer. What does it have? Social media? Is it something that is scalable? Is it safe? Are they, utilizing any kind of, what are they on Python? Or what is the code? JavaScript? But they are actually under Pact, which is a new, they say more secure language. So for anybody that knows anything about coding, that's the language that it's in. And going back to CoinGecko, right now, if you look at the volume, it's actually doing very well because KDAX just got launched. The news of the gas stations, the crypto gas stations, which is something I have never seen. I don't think D'Angelo,
no.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen a crypto gas station where it's like, hey, we absorb the fees, so you don't have to.
I've never seen a proof of work blockchain that offered like practically 0 transaction fees. Like they figured that out, and when I first was introduced to or first heard about Kadena, like it intrigued me so much when I seen that. But yeah, Kadena is a great project. I spoke about it briefly before when I was talking about mining Kadena, and right now the miners for Kadena, they are extremely expensive because most people who are mining Kadena, like the demand is crazy. So
and you can see right here, D'Angelo, it shows you that 70% of the token allocations is going to be for miners.
yeah, that's major. That's how you want to see a blockchain develop. You don't want to see 70% are from investors. Like when you see 70% of the tokens that's being allocated going towards miners, like they're the ones providing the work. So they should be rewarded as so. And I think Kadena is a project that, like, of all the projects that we have listed, like I really love Kadena. And if I can compare it to a project that did well in the last bull run, I would compare it to the likes of a Phantom or a Solana. And Phantom didn't even reach the peak that it could have. But as far as like the potential of its growth in the next bull run, I could see Kadena pushing to at least the market cap of what Phantom was at its peak. And long as it's not being bashed because it's still proof of work, and them talking about the environment and, you know, how much energy it uses, which I think is going to be a topic of discussion. I think Kadena will thrive. So
yeah, I hope I broke that down. I'm a little nervous, y'all, so sorry.
Oh, you did great. You did great.
So that is overall just I don't want to confuse anybody and give you too much information, but that is KDA, y'all.
Look, y'all do me a favor, man. Y'all drop some flowers in the chat for Loretta, because man, that's my battle, and she knows this stuff. Like I said, I appreciate her just being here, tapping in with me. But she knows her stuff, man, and she chose this project because she truly believes in it. I told y'all she put me on to Solana, and if I'd have listened to her in the beginning, like I would have made a bigger bag off of Solana. So yeah, like she, you know, she was a little nervous when she was telling me, I don't know about it. No, she did great, man. I appreciate her.
And also, y'all, just real quick, not to interrupt you, D'Angelo, but if you look at these projects and you go to their GitHub, one of the biggest things you want to look at is making sure that their GitHub, because it talks about their product, how they're scaling it, how they're programming. You can see here the proof of work panel and stuff like that. You want to scroll and make sure that they're active on their GitHub, that they're constantly upgrading, you know, like updated 14 minutes ago, updated, and you see that it's a proof of, it's telling you what their developers are doing. So this is, you know, for anybody that's technical, I'm not saying everybody has to do this. This is something I just, you know, when I got really deep in the weeds, this is something that I looked at to make sure that the project is still being worked on. It's still being developed. They're always improving. They let you know if there's any issues. So this is a really great tool right here as well. If anybody looks at GitHub, Reddit, and stuff like that. So just to let you know.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I appreciate y'all dropping the flowers and the flames and all that good stuff in there. But yeah, just like Loretta just said, GitHub is a great source to inform you on if a project is moving forward and doing great things. Like even if you're not technical, you want to confirm that they're still building. Jaquel says, what about the audit status? So I'm very likely Kadena has had some form of audit, but they don't utilize and it's its own blockchain. So it's not like a token that's developing on a blockchain that created its code out of thin air or did some like cookie cutter type coding. So it's very likely it's been audited and it's been ran through the ring. They've had hackathons, all that good stuff. So it's not a brand new token. As you can see, the market cap is $333 million. So it's very likely it's been through a full-fledged audit to be where it's at now. But
and I will definitely, Jaquel, I'll definitely follow up with that. I'm writing it down. I'll definitely find that answer out for you, because I did read about that earlier, and I'm pretty sure I read that the audit was good, but I'll find the exact article that stated that. So I'm not just saying it, and I'll make sure that I drop it.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. So we're gonna move. Let me get the screen again.
All right.
Loretta, we're gonna tap back in.
There you go.
And
can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can. Who that, Luther?
Yeah, this is, I'm an old man. I'm trying to find out, what do you think out of all this crypto? Because I'm not really into it, but y'all get me into it. But in 10 years, I'll be a real old then. But it's something I can pass on to my son. What do you think out of all this stuff here? What do you think gonna be around in 10 years?
Bitcoin.
The main one that I think.
Bitcoin.
I'm asking her, what is her survival? What you think gonna survive out of all these different things?
Without a doubt, without selling out financial advice, Bitcoin.
I think Bitcoin. I think Ethereum.
Yeah.
I honestly, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. And if Kadena does what it's supposed to do, I can definitely see.
But
that.
the
and
safest.
Some of the others we were going to go over, but for real, Bitcoin and Ethereum are my go-tos right now.
That's a fact.
Because they've been around the longest. They've, we've just seen more out of those two coins.
That's a fact. So I agree. If I had to choose, and I could only choose two, I would have to say Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's other projects that I think will be here despite whatever goes on in crypto. But if I could put $1 million on it, it's Bitcoin and it's Ethereum. But most certainly Bitcoin.
I was because the way I'm thinking, and maybe I'm just thinking too overthinking. I'm thinking the people eventually they're gonna just be like, we gonna if it was to go that way and this currency was to be accepted nation worldwide, they're gonna cut this to a minimum of certain things, like certain coins gonna be in this country, certain coins will probably be popular in, like how they got the euro.
It's kind of like that already. Like people don't talk about, and we're gonna get back to all the altcoins specifically, but people don't talk about it much. But Tron, although I have my sentiments about Tron, is widely used in the Asian markets, and it is one of the top blockchain coins. And people aren't using the Tron network in the States much, or in the Western countries as much. But those who are in Asian countries, they love Tron. It does everything that all these other blockchains do. So it's already being adopted like that, but it will narrow down. Like, I'm gonna say this: of at least 90% of the cryptocurrencies that are out there today, when regulation comes about and you can truly identify the sectors that will thrive in cryptocurrency, 90% of them will go away. Like, they'll go belly up, similar to like the dot-com bubble. Like, I can definitely see that occurring. So that's why the projects that we covering tonight, like we wholeheartedly feel like, they're on the cusp of innovation, and they could thrive like for a very long time. And but we gonna get back to that, Luther. Bring some more bring some more questions towards the end, bro. We gonna definitely tap back into that. But we're gonna get into my next project, which I am extremely bullish on. And it goes back to the theme that I didn't intend to make a theme, but interoperability. The ability to move an asset from one chain to another chain seamlessly. And the granddaddy of them all is Polkadot. Polkadot is the first layer 0 blockchain that created the idea of this interoperability. Like, they likely sat down, was like, yeah, I have Ethereum, but I want to use Ethereum over here, but you don't accept it. We got to fix that, right? Polkadot was the first project to develop a system, a ecosystem that would allow that. And let's get into it, man. Like I mentioned, Polkadot is significantly down from its highs. We'll check out the highs real quick. You know, it was over $50 at one point. Right now, it is by market cap, the 11th top cryptocurrency in the world. So it's not a cheap cryptocurrency by market cap, but it's a significant drop from where it was, you know, in the last bull run. And if you look, the way that these bull runs occur, every time we go through these 4-year cycles, we eclipse the previous highs. The previous highs was over $50, $53. So it's definitely an opportunity there. And simply because of what Polkadot provides. Polkadot being a layer 0 blockchain, it sits beneath all of the other blockchains and it connects them using what they call parachains or relay chains. I'm not going to get into the technicals about that because, to be honest, I don't completely understand it. I just know they make it work. But they have two different bridge-like chains, which aren't bridges, that allow you to transfer assets from one blockchain to the next. And they were the first to develop a system or a protocol that could perform that function, right? So let's go to the Polkadot website. So last year, DOT, which is the ticker DOT, they did these parachain and relay chain. They were doing these auctions where you could stake your Polkadot, and based off of how much DOT you stake, you would vote for particular projects to develop and connect with Polkadot. Some projects that were already developed, like there's this project on the Engine blockchain. I believe it's the NFT project, Infinity or something like that. They won one of the auctions to be utilized on the Polkadot blockchain. So they're like building out their ecosystem by doing these various auctions and things of that nature. But like it says here, the multi-chain vision for Web3 starts here. And I truly believe that because they're at the ground level of developing this concept of interoperability, connecting blockchains to it. So, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna break my brain trying to explain it. But let's keep on going, man. But like I said, as you can see with Polkadot, you don't hear a lot about Polkadot as far as like them being marketed. They're not like flashy. They're not, you know, people don't speak about it because most of people don't truly understand what this network can provide. It does everything that all these other layer 1 blockchains do, which staking, governance, all of these different things that these other projects can provide. And I kind of explained in a similar fashion with Stargate Finance and Thorchain, the the benefits of having a blockchain that has the function of interoperability. So I'm not going to dig on that as much, but I want y'all to know that Polkadot was the first to do it. And it is like the base layer for all blockchains to provide this function. And I would like to think of Polkadot similar to how I look at Tesla. Tesla was, they had that first mover advantage with EV cars. So with them having that, they have a strong foothold on the technology, the resources, the developers. Like most people don't know, and this is a indicator of building and a bullish sentiment of a project. The more developers that you have on a blockchain, creating, building, breaking down, tearing down, recreating, that is an indicator of the potential growth of a project. And outside of Ethereum, which Ethereum has so many people developing on it, Polkadot is second. And most people don't know that. So many people are building on Polkadot. To add to that, Polkadot has its own test net, which let me go to it real quick. Polkadot is so large, and people don't even know this. Its test net is a blockchain also, which is Kusama. So this project, it is the 96th largest cryptocurrency by market cap. And this is pretty much Polkadot, but they break stuff on this blockchain and then they implement it on the Polkadot's blockchain when it successfully works. And this project alone is 96 by market cap. The market cap value of this is 443 million. So if Polkadot never had a test net, a lot of this money would already be on Polkadot also. So the market cap of Polkadot would be even more. You can see right here is tagged by the Polkadot ecosystem. So that's what I want to touch on with Polkadot. It is one of my favorite coins, layer 0 coins that were the first to provide a layer 0 function to connect Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Avalanche, all these other ecosystems to one location to function amongst each other to provide that interoperability that I mentioned before. So that's DOT in a nutshell. Definitely look into the website. Come to CoinGecko. You can pull up all this stuff. You can I mean, it's a ton of places where you can purchase DOT. It's a major coin, so it's like likely everywhere that you could think of. So these are all the exchanges that you can purchase it. If you're familiar with CoinGecko or Coin MarketCap, like you can get as much data as possible on this thing. But this is Kusama. Let me get off here. But yeah, this is what they call the canary chain for Polkadot, which is AKA their test net. This is where they, make and break stuff. But yeah, that is one of my babies right there. I need to go, like I told Loretta earlier, I need to find out when I can unstake my Polkadot. But we gonna keep on moving, and my battle, she got something for y'all, so I'm gonna stop sharing.
All right.
Pull back, and she got the floor.
So one of my favorite coins is Chainlink, and I don't know if anybody has heard of Chainlink, but in the last bull run, it had a very good run. One of the things I love is its security. It is an oracle, which means that any information that comes in through the blockchain is filtered out by this oracle, and then it's distributed to the smart contract. So anything that is not good code, or it might be somebody trying to hack or anything like that, it's going to stop it. And as you can see, it's on the Ethereum blockchain right here. And if you go down, you can see that, its all-time high was $52, just, a little over a year ago. And the thing I love about Chainlink is just how many projects it's in. So many people are trusting. It's basically one of the I don't know how to say this, Angela. It's like the safest, most powerful oracle out there on the blockchain that is keeping our data safe.
Yep.
It is, not only that, there's a financial reward for feeding reliable information to the oracle. So
Yep.
people that are out there that are using the nodes and they're getting the data and they're actually in there, they're actually being compensated. And the partnerships, for me, when it said Google, iCloud, I said, oh, okay. And Swift and T-Mobile, that's definitely people we know are not just going to trust anybody with information. They are going to be very picky about who or what they allow onto their servers, onto their blockchains. It also, they allow you to build on top of here. It's in decentralized exchanges that are using Chainlink. I mean, it's ridiculous. Let me pull up the list. I mean, it is literally the ecosystem. The people that, the different companies that are utilizing Chainlink to keep their servers safe, I mean, it's in the hundreds, but FTX, KuCoin, like I said, T-Mobile and Google.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that it.
Oh, you good. You good. But Chainlink, like she said, it has similar to, like I said with Polkadot, it has the first to market advantage. Everybody or every project is trying to somehow connect with Chainlink to get the latest price value for their coins, to provide that true data to all these decentralized systems. So when you think about Chainlink, think about from one centralized exchange and then go to another, and you can see that the price values are different. So on the decentralized side of things, when you connect to Chainlink, that oracle maintains that consensus that this is the correct price value. This is the correct data that surrounds this project. So there's no misinterpretation of what things are supposed to be. And like Loretta said, they're connecting with these Web 2 projects or major institutions across the world. And they just began doing that like last year. And that shows like the value of Chainlink. And what a lot of people don't realize, yeah, it did drop significantly in value, like most of the cryptocurrencies out there, but it did not drop as much because people know the value. They don't want to lose Chainlink. There's other options out there, but there's none that have the partnerships or are not embedded as well as Chainlink and provide the function at the level at which Chainlink does. And
the one Aave right here, they trust Chainlink right here. And the Aave platform, Synthetics and Trader Joe's, like these top three right here, they're some of the biggest in the crypto world when it comes to yield farming, borrowing on your assets, and they use Chainlink as their oracle. So that was enough for me. When I saw Aave, I was like, okay, we're on to something here. But that spoke money to me, because I know that Aave, Synthetics, Trader Joe, entities like this, companies like this, like are not going to sit here and just let anybody into their information. It has to be secure. It has to be accurate. It has to keep that data safe and accurate for the investors as well as for the developers. So that was also something that I looked at. And here you go here.
So is this place, are they cybersecurity? It's cybersecurity?
No, it's not. It's not cybersecurity. It just maintains true data. accurate
Right.
data. And somebody just asked what an oracle is. That's pretty much the function of Chainlink. It's providing real-time accurate data for all of these things you see here on the screen. And more. Like they probably can't even list everybody that they're connected with, because it's every major cryptocurrency is likely connected with Chainlink. In some
What
form
kind
of
of
fashion.
data? Now that's another
Price,
what kind of data?
Price value, the information that details what that project may provide, like anything
Like the
that
code, the
anything,
language.
yeah, anything that relates to a particular project and confirming what it is, what it does, the value. Like Chainlink maintains a post on those things for them to ensure that wherever that data is being pushed over the net, like it is correct. And that's the function of it being an oracle. So I hope that somebody had just asked a question relating to that, but I hope that made sense as far as what the oracle is. And that's what it primarily is for Chainlink. So, but yeah.
But they are a crypto coin.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. The ticker is
The
linked.
ticker is linked.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good project there.
And if you look on CoinGecko right here, it says cryptocurrencies, exchanges, NFT, burn crypto. I think with here, it will list the exchanges that you can buy Chainlink on.
Hit markets.
And I know
on the left right there. You can see it there.
Did I go too far?
Yeah, scroll down a little bit. Right there next
There
to overview. Next to overview. And you hit markets, you can see.
Yeah,
but
right there.
You can it's pretty much available everywhere. It's a major cryptocurrency.
Right. And that's another thing too, because I know you can get it on Coinbase, crypto.com, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, FTX.
Everywhere. If you don't have Chainlink on your exchange, you're not doing it right.
Right.
So, but I'd only buy it from certain places. Coinbase is fine, FTX, crypto.com.
Yeah.
I know they're asking a lot of stupid questions, but
they're not stupid, man. Only stupid question one you don't ask. That's it.
Is these coins like going like the Forex? What these? Because I be seeing this a lot. Like they got link/US dollar. I'm trying to figure out, is that the same thing? Or
so
why
it's
do they
not,
do that?
It's not Forex, but that's just showing you the pair that is being traded against. So that's all it is. So like when you go to TradingView and you're trying to find link, you could type in link USD and it'll come up. You can type link BTC and you can see how it's trading against Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, they are currencies first. So like foreign assets, foreign currencies, you will see like GBP versus USD. It acts in the same fashion, but
so
it's not.
So if the dollar was doing bad, then Link would be doing good.
Yes,
that's how you would look at it.
Yeah, more than likely. Like,
yeah.
And I should have showed that earlier because I had DXY pulled up, but DXY made a 20-year high today, and the crypto market had dropped during that time. But then the DXY, which is the dollar index, it plummeted from when it broke that all-time high, and then crypto started to go back up. So it's usually inverse. It works inverse of the dollar. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just another like confirmation when you looking into to trading. Like if the dollar is pushing to the upside, the DXY is pushing to the upside. Crypto and other larger markets, they are likely doing the opposite. So, but yeah, we're gonna keep it moving, man. Hope
All
y'all got
right,
that
so-
about link.
I stopped sharing, so you should be good, D'Angelo.
Okay, let me share mine. So the next one, let me close Kusama, Polkadot, and Chainlink. The next project is a fairly newer project, and that is Flux. The ticker is Flux, also FLUX. Let me let this thing pull up. It was
shit.
formerly called Zelle Cash. Y'all can still see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me let this thing roll.
I'm sorry. I thought, because I had it up too. But we'll both talk about it.
Hold on. Yeah, it's not pulling up. Give me a second. Come on now. I'm gonna have to search it again. Y'all give me a second. But Flux is yeah, it's a fairly it's a very interesting project. And if I can't pull this up,
So Loretta, her name Loretta.
Yeah,
How
it is.
you getting your information on all this stuff? How y'all be y'all? It's just been amazing me how y'all be talking about this stuff. Like this. How do you are you basing it off their website, or what rabbit hole are you going down to find out if these?
What rabbit hole am I not?
Yeah, because y'all got to be going down some rabbit holes and be talking about this stuff here.
So Luther, how I started was going on CoinGecko, and I would look at the ticker, and I would then go to their information, where it was their website, their social media, their Discord, their YouTube, anything they had, Telegram, and I would find their white paper. It's called a white paper, and basically in that, it's going to tell you everything about that project, what they're doing, their roadmap, who they're partnered with, the developers. And I'm looking at their website for one, accuracy, to make sure it's a legit website. There's no misspelled words. The team, I like the team to be doxed, because I feel like if you're a quality,
Loretta was
development
doxed.
team, that means it's
I was
true.
just about
You
to say
show
that.
yourself. Yeah, you show yourself. Like
Yeah.
you show yourself, your face, your information. You should have a LinkedIn. You should have a resume somewhere that shows what you have worked on. How are your credentials true? That's the difference in a lot of KuCoins.
Hey Loretta, if you don't see all those things that you just elaborated and just went over, what does that mean to you? Like, if you were just searching for like all their social medias and you're just not seeing certain things and they're not docs, like and on top of that, they didn't get audited or something of that nature, or the people that they got audited from, you may have never heard of them. What does that create in your head? Like, what do you start thinking about the project?
So I'm not that's like going to the casino and putting your money in and just, hitting the little button, hoping that you get the little sevens. I mean, honestly, it's just like, do I have this money to waste? I personally don't invest in it. But some people do, and that's their choice. But for me, it's a red flag. It means that they're either going to be a honeypot, which means that they get everybody excited, everybody invests, and nobody can cash out, and they walk away with your money. Or same thing as in a rug pull. They get people in, trade, and get that volume up, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're sorry, or something fell through. This didn't work out, and you'll even see some of those people go and develop a whole nother ecosystem and whole nother coin and do the same exact thing. And these people go and follow them thinking it's going to be a real quick run up. So I caution, it's like the railroad crossing.
You know what you and D-Wiz should do? I think how y'all know this stuff here, y'all should create a video where y'all got slides on how y'all actually dig deep from slide to slide. I know it'll probably be like a 5-hour video, but it would be nice to know how people get deep into. I'll be into stuff like this when people go in deep in one hole, take you to another hole, and you get there till you feel comfortable enough to actually say, okay, this is legit. because I don't even know what white paper is. So I got to look up that.
I'm gonna show you this white paper here.
I'm gonna be honest
Yep.
real quick, Luther. What you asking for is not gonna happen because it's not gonna turn into 5 hours. If you try to talk to D-Wiz or Loretta offline, or even if they create something, it's probably like 48 hours. It don't stop, bro. I promise you. That's why I said I can't wait till my head starts hurting. It won't stop.
Hey, it's the
Yeah,
fact.
but they could create a series.
So look,
actually videos or something like that, because that can have somebody where they can sit down and watch it over and over, because you can watch this over and over and like, okay, then it start hitting, because this is some interesting stuff.
So look, I did a couple weeks ago a class on how to research cryptocurrencies. Now, I gave out some websites and all this stuff. I've also posted inside the chat, but to be honest, those are tools you can use, but it's so much more. It's so much more to it. Like, those are tools that you can use, and we definitely could, really just get on here and show y'all how I research. This past weekend, I'm gonna tell y'all, I got some heat coming because I found 17 blockchains that likely nobody's talking about like anywhere. I sent them to Loretta, and yeah, we about to get in the rabbit hole. We can pull out the projects that are gonna be very or worth investing into as they develop. So what we can do something like that, because we can do something like that. But
D-Wiz, you know what you can do is the stuff that we were going to do earlier on, and it's just we've been busy that we weren't able to align our time at the right time. But when we were going to just like do little extra classes, even if the market was open or closed, on just how we research crypto, you and Loretta can just, dive in deep into that.
I could definitely do that. I just, like, for me, I honestly want to know that the interest is there from the community, because what I don't want to do is like get on live and do these things and we don't have as much participation. Because even though no matter the amount of participation, if it's 2 people on there, I'm gonna teach you everything I know.
Yeah, we're gonna put all into it.
If you're willing to listen and learn, like, we're gonna give you the game. We're gonna give you what we know, and what we don't know, we're gonna find out right there while you're online. So that's something we can do. I just want y'all to really have the interest and want to do it, because I know, within the server, the primary function is to truly make money, like, actively. In crypto right now, it's a little difficult to do that unless you trade in it. Now, you could be trading crypto just how you trading stocks or forex. You could be trading crypto the same way. You just have to, like Luther asked me earlier, he want to learn how to get on the exchange, get his account straight so he could trade. That is another way where you can make money. But for the most part, because it's a bear market, it's a little bit more difficult to make money how we were in the bull market, because you didn't necessarily have to go on the exchange and trade crypto. You could literally buy a cryptocurrency and flip it in a day, and you'd have made $200. It was different. So now it's it's different because it's a bear market. The opportunities aren't like that. But before we keep shifting that way, let's roll back into this. Now I was having those technical difficulties, and we're gonna talk about FLUX. And somebody, I'm muted right now. If y'all can mute, please. Thank you much. FLUX. It was rebranded. I had never heard of FLUX when it was called Zelle, but it rebranded to FLUX. And what I've read and learned about FLUX, like, I was going to get into this project probably 6 months or longer ago, because they provide this function to where they're similar to mining, where you utilize nodes to earn more FLUX. And it wasn't cheap to become a node operator, and you had to, like, in some cases you had to build your own node, or you can utilize a node that's already been built. But a lot of people who were getting into this project, they were taking these nodes and they were making a significant amount of money from FLUX. But let's dig into it. I'm gonna pull the website up and I'm gonna show you what a white paper looks like also, Luther. So let's pull up the FLUX website and I'll tell y'all
You
why.
wouldn't get cold feet when you say a company, a crypto rebranding itself. Why would they rebrand themselves? What just that alone have me thinking.
So FLUX, they were Zelle because they had their Zelle Core wallet as well. Their wallet's called Zelle Core. So the FLUX, I think it was when they started doing the nodes, D'Angelo. I was reading about it, but I'll have to go back and find out. But it was the Zelle Core wallet I was talking about. That is actually FLUX's wallet.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't know that, but I wouldn't necessarily get cold feet unless the reason that they shifted to a new branding or new name had to deal with something negative. Like they had to fork because they got hacked and their security was terrible, or they had a rogue CEO. They had people taking assets, dumping them that were on the team, something crazy like that was, really affecting the project internally. And now they're trying to rebrand. Like that would give me some red flags about it. But with them changing their name because they're providing a new function, nah, that wouldn't steer me away from the project by any means. And that's what they're doing, like Loretta said, which I didn't know, is why they kind of shifted to FLUX, because they have these nodes, right? I don't know the exact number and how much it costs to have your own node right now, but I was recently looking into taking one of my Helium miners and converting it to a FLUX node, because my Helium miners aren't as profitable as they were. And FLUX is very profitable if you are able to convert or get a node. Now, it does require you to purchase a certain amount of FLUX and then run your node, but it's very profitable. But not only that, like it says here, FLUX provides, it's a decentralized Web3, the next generation computational network. So it's based off of decentralized cloud infrastructure. So it is a decentralized cloud provider, on the Web3, in the Web3 sector. Shifting from
I'm sorry, D'Angelo, go ahead.
Shifting from what we are, accustomed to with maybe iCloud or things of that nature. But they have currently 13,136 nodes that are live, that are providing this cloud function, right? What was you gonna say, Loretta, before I keep going?
So they're calling it FLUX OS, and it works on Linux.
Oh, okay, yeah. So appreciate that. But so one thing that's interesting about FLUX, and I'm gonna go back to the price action on it. It started pumping, around this time frame when the Ethereum merge was announced. And the reason it was because to create these nodes, you can create a node using GPUs. And being that Ethereum is the second most mined cryptocurrency, it utilizes not only ASIC miners, which are asymmetric miners, the ASIC miners only mine Ethereum. But with a GPU, which is a graphics card, those are able to mine any cryptocurrency you choose that can be mined by a GPU. So with all of those people who are currently mining Ethereum, they won't be able to mine Ethereum, and they're gonna be looking for a new home for those GPUs that they own. Otherwise, they just gonna be sitting there dead weight. But likely they're gonna find a new cryptocurrency to mine. There's a few projects that are out there that are in consideration to take a lot of the adoption for that mining. But FLUX just came about to being one that will be one of the most profitable to create nodes from. And further support this decentralized cloud infrastructure. So I said I was gonna pull
It's
up.
also, it's on blockchain. So that right there.
Yeah, that's major in itself.
Huge.
So I'm gonna show you what a white paper looks like. I've not looked at Flux white paper, but it pretty much outlines what the project is about. Now you can come here, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've not read every white paper for every project that I'm in. I've not. It's a lot of data. They and sometimes they're not. This one actually not that long. It's only like
nope.
17
So this
pages.
like a company. This like a company 10K. Like where was it? If it was into actual, if you're looking up a company in the NASDAQ or something, this is actually like 10K.
It's gonna give you all the details relating to the project. It may add in what is projecting to do, but typically that's used for your roadmap. Like they'll have a roadmap that outline that. So speaking of roadmap, which I don't know if they have one on the site. Usually on most projects, but Flux is pretty major now. Most projects, they likely will have a roadmap. And if you're looking into a project and they have a roadmap listed, one indicator to confirm that you are looking at a good project is that they are executing all of those things on that roadmap in a timely manner. So if they have something on their roadmap and it says, okay, we're going to launch our mainnet on August the 1st, and now it's August the 29th and it didn't launch, that's a red flag. They ain't got their stuff together. So, and they don't announce in a like prior to that it's gonna be delayed or something of that nature. Like that's a red flag. But to go back here, let's roll back. Like I said, Flux has all of the social mediums. You can go in here. If you really want to know the sentiment of a project, you probably won't get this with Flux, but some of the smaller projects, you join a Telegram or Discord, get the sentiment of what the community is saying about the project. You can't take it as like truth all the time, but if the project is, if the community is, live and, happy and glad to be a part of, hey, that might be the right one. You know what I'm saying? So that's just further indication. But Flux, I'm certainly considering still to convert my Helium miner to provide it as a node for the Flux network. But I do want to see this price value go back down because I missed that. I missed that that move when it dropped here to 41 cents was the low here. But Flux is a great project by providing the decentralized cloud infrastructure and the profits that you can make by being a node operator for Flux. So definitely something to look into.
This is a long hold for me. Yeah, this is a long hold for me.
Yeah, I do see a lot of people, potentially shifting and being node operators for Flux once the Ethereum merge occurs on the 15th and the 16th of September. So, but let me go and pass it back to my wing lady.
Alrighty.
And I'm gonna stop my sharing here.
Okay, one of the coins that I really like, and I don't know how anybody hasn't really heard of it, is crypto.com, CRO. Has everybody heard of this particular coin? Because I know y'all have seen Matt Damon. Some of you may have seen Snoop, LeBron James being spokespersons for this particular coin. But one of the reasons why I like crypto.com is it's actually created its own blockchain called Cronus. And it has its own DeFi wallet. And basically, we're still waiting for the SEC, but crypto.com will actually be one of the top competitors to Binance because you're actually going to be able to trade on its actual exchange, like on KuCoin and like Binance USD, which is huge because Binance has had some issues. So I really, you know, with everything that's going on with crypto.com, I think that that's going to be a very big competitor to them. And they're trying to do everything right with the SEC before they launch. Since a lot of the exchanges have gotten in trouble with over leveraging. I think we've seen that with, what was it, D'Angelo? I know with not Exodus, but Voyager, Celsius, which is not, it was more of like a DEX, but it wasn't secure. There was a few others that actually the SEC, they got in trouble with the SEC. So they're sitting here having to email everybody like, hey, you know, we have your money, but you might get it. And then a lot of us don't read that fine print. So CRO, one of the things that's doing, as soon as I can get this up, I'm so sorry, y'all. It actually has NFTs, a whole NFT marketplace, which is doing very good. You'll see there are music NFTs, NFT art. There are games that are coming out. You're able to have liquidity pools. And if you go to their website,
you can do
you'll see
everything.
Everything. They have dApps. They have their wallet, their extension. Basically, you can even get their crypto card. So if you buy a certain amount of crypto, you can apply for the blue one and then just work your way up. You can actually get rewards using their debit card. They actually have a crypto debit card where you can sit here and use it and earn rewards for shopping.
So quick question. So you can trade off this website?
The website is not live. You could do it in the wallet, actually has where you can, not the wallet, but the app on your phone. It actually has where you can set the price now, but it's in the US, this will be coming, it should be by the end of the year. If not the end of the year, I think it's gonna be the beginning of next year. You'll be actually able to use its exchange. You can use it overseas right now. You just can't use it in America.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, I'm extremely bullish on CRO in general. When they released their blockchain last year, early last year, Chronos, that really like told me, I was like, yeah, they, you know, crypto.com is on the Staples Center now. Like it is the brand there. Like they've done some very great marketing for the, you know, the side of things, the real world side. I don't really want to say real world, but the side of things that people are already accustomed to seeing. They connecting with these major you know, sports figures and actors and all this other stuff to really push their branding. But they're also doing it on the back end in the crypto world by creating this blockchain. And this blockchain provides every function that the Ethereum blockchain provides at a cheaper rate. Everything that the Binance blockchain provides also. So at a minimum, I could see, and the BNB chain, I think is the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap. At a minimum, I could see CRO reaching the high by market cap of what the BNB chain was during this last bull run, in the next bull run. So I am extremely bullish on CRO.
A lot of things too that people don't know is when you get a certain amount of CRO and with their cards, you get free memberships to Netflix, free memberships to Spotify, 10% off at Nike outlets and stuff like that. So they're really pumping the merchandise aspect of it. With their debit card, you know, you put your money on there. It's not a credit card. Also, it has great staking rewards where you'll earn CRO when you stake certain assets. And that might be a little bit going into a lot. We can do another class on staking, but it's fast and secure. And if you look at the price right now, it is 12 cents. The high last year was 80. It got up to 80.
Yeah, that's major. That's a major move.
So I definitely foresee it surpassing that. But 96 cents was the high on the 24th last year.
So CRO is crypto.com?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And their app, you can download their app, and it's pretty easy. But Luther, if you have any questions, hit me up, and I can definitely walk you through anything you might have questions about with that.
Look at Loretta, man. She doing her thing. What she, you know, she's great at. Like, she's very helpful, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Like, I help out, but Loretta, she helps out. Like, I'll give y'all an example. There's this guy, I ain't gonna say his name. We both helped him personally, like spent hours on the phone with him. He usually has issues that we've never seen before in crypto. And like Loretta would sit there for 3-4 hours with the guy and help him to wits end to get to understand and perform whatever action he's trying to do with crypto. So that's the type of person y'all dealing with. Y'all hearing tonight. She's great, man. She's genuine. So, but I'm gonna keep moving.
Okay.
Well, hold on. What is her username on the Discord?
I think it's Loretta Laurie. I can't remember. Let me look. Y'all look, I got so many usernames. It's Loretta Laurie 79. I'm sorry. Got an email for everything.
It's Loretta
Laurie, Laurie 79.
All right. I got one more altcoin gem, and let me share my screen again. I think you're still sharing too, Loretta.
I stopped. There you go.
Yeah, I got one more altcoin gem, and then I have some alibis that are not even on the market yet, but y'all gonna be, hey, look out for these because they coming, they heavy hitters. So let me share my screen again. And my last cryptocurrency for altcoin gems is Polygon MATIC. And if you've not seen the news relating to MATIC in the past 6 months, they've had partnerships with Disney. They've partnered with so many different people trying to get a piece of the pie of MATIC. Is insane. But the most recent partnership was with Disney, where they're trying to use Polygon in some form or fashion. I don't even think they detailed clearly exactly what, but when I seen the name Disney and Polygon, I was like, oh yeah, I started dollar cost averaging even more. But to get in depth with what Polygon is, it is the layer 2 scaling solution for the Ethereum blockchain. As you know, Ethereum, and it is the first layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. And what that means simply is this: you know how, and those who are familiar with Ethereum, when Ethereum has high throughput of transactions, those gas fees can be stupid. Like literally, you could be purchasing or sending $50 worth of Ethereum and your gas fee is $100. You'd be like, that don't make sense. So MATIC provides the function of either cheap or practically no gas fees. Like those who are familiar with the NFT that I sent out last week is the reason why I chose the Polygon network for those NFTs. And that for the lifetime members that will have the lifetime membership, we're building the lifetime NFTs on OpenSea on the Polygon side of things. One, because there's little to no fees attached. When I sent y'all those NFTs last week, it was free to do so. It was free for me to create those NFTs, everything. When you dealing with Ethereum and you creating and sending, it will cost every time that we have that transaction. But me thinking of the longevity of this, because Ethereum will get back to $4,900. It go to $10,000 and it's having transactions like it was in the last bull run. Trying to send $50 worth of an asset in Ethereum could cost you $200. And that ain't good for nobody, so that's a problem. And Polygon solves that issue by being a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. It allows Polygon to have the security of Ethereum, but not incur those extreme transaction fees. So the current value of Polygon, let's look at the max. Actually, I can see it here. The all-time high for Polygon was $2.92. It's down 72% from its high. Now, it did pump. It had a few pumps since, what was this? Early June or whatever. It started pumping because it was getting news back to back to back about partnerships. And I was already dollar cost averaging personally into Polygon, but I increased the amount that I utilize. And if any of y'all were on my borrowing against your assets class a few weeks ago, I used the Polygon network simply because the transaction fees are little to none. And if I'd have done the same thing on Ethereum, it wouldn't have been worth doing. So, but yeah, the current, where is it at? The current market cap rank for Polygon is number 15. So it is a large cryptocurrency by market cap, but like it says here, it's down 72%. The current price value, 81 cents. It has some room to get back to its all-time highs. And every bull run we have, we eclipse those all-time highs if you're in a project that will sustain and be here for the long term. Now, Polygon does have other projects that provide a similar function for scaling Ethereum, like Optimism and Arbitrum. Those are other projects that scale Ethereum also, which are getting a lot of traction as well. But Polygon has the first mover to market advantage over those projects. People are already accustomed to Polygon over them. Polygon MATIC has already proven its status and worth by connecting with not only other large ecosystems like Aave, right? Like I mentioned earlier, that's the platform that I utilize for borrowing against my crypto assets. And Loretta mentioned it earlier as Aave being a very good project also. So Aave's already partnered with Polygon to provide that cheap function for borrowing against your assets. But let's go to the website. Let's scroll through here. And we'll just read this. It says Polygon believes in Web3 for all. Polygon is a decentralized Ethereum scaling platform, which I mentioned. All of the applications that are being built on Ethereum, they can be ported over to Polygon and perform the same function at a cheaper rate, like all of them. Now, not all projects shift to Polygon, but they have that function. So these are some of the partnerships that just happened in the last 6 months. The connection with Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, they're utilizing the Polygon's chain. Stripe, utilizing Polygon chain. Adidas Originals and Prada launch NFT collection on Polygon. Like, they're attracting these major institutions for that have already wide adoption and branding. Like, that's why I really like Polygon. Polygon is probably, I love a lot of cryptocurrency, but man, right now Polygon, yeah, that's the one for me. I've been dollar cost averaging the most in the Polygon out of pretty much everything that I've been, buying in crypto. And that says a lot, because now I will give some drawback here with Polygon though. The only issue that I could see, and Luther asked this question, like projects that I could see not here or still here in 10 years. So mind you, like I said, Polygon is built on Ethereum. It is a layer 2 scaling solution of Ethereum. It adopts all of the good things about Ethereum as far as like security and decentralization, but rejects the large and high transaction fees. Now, Ethereum has its merge in next month, 15th and the 16th of next month. But Ethereum is still developing. They have other upgrades, which are called the Surge, the Verge, all these other names that's going to allow Ethereum to scale, meaning it's going to allow them to have cheaper transaction fees, have faster transaction fees. So at that point, I could see Polygon or MATIC becoming a competitor to the chain that is being built on. Now, it doesn't confirm that Ethereum will actually ever be able to do that though. So because they're still trying to figure out how to do it. Otherwise, they'd have done it this next month. They haven't completely figured out how to do that. And that's why Polygon still thrives and will thrive, because it has the ability to utilize everything that Ethereum does, but do it at a cheaper price and be able to do it faster than Ethereum by pretty much really being a leech. So until Ethereum can, scale better, I see Polygon thriving and other layer 2 scaling solutions and side chains thriving. If Ethereum never figures that out, like these projects will be here 10 years from now. And when you think about it, the upgrade that we're seeing next month from Ethereum for the merge, it's been talked about for 5 years or more, from proof of work to proof of stake. So that's my only drawback with Polygon as far as longevity, because if Ethereum does get its act together and start scaling and allowing itself to have faster transactions and have faster or cheaper transaction fees, then we so much would need Polygon as much. So that's I'm bullish on it, short, mid, and possibly long term, long as Ethereum still does what it's doing that's bad for the rest of the world. So, but yeah, let me scroll through here, man. Polygon it's the one for me in this bear market. I like I said, Polygon it could certainly, grow significantly and be, in this top 5, top 10 of chains or projects by market cap. So definitely look into Polygon, look into MATIC. And I don't think Loretta have any more. I think that was the last one, but I want to show y'all, man. I told y'all this past weekend, I've been doing some heavy research, really digging into things that are upcoming. So I want to show y'all these 2 projects before we get into the Ask Me Anything. And if y'all have questions, y'all start dropping them in the chat, because we're going to get into those. And then y'all can unmute if y'all need to. We can answer the questions that we touched on earlier, go more in depth. But the project that I want to show y'all projects is they come out of the development from Meta, Facebook. So Facebook and Meta, whatever you want to call it, they were developing their own blockchain, which I forget the original name, but it became Diem, D-I-E-M. They shut it down because they was having all these other issues with regulation and all this other stuff. So under that umbrella of the Diem project, because they were trying to develop their own in-house crypto blockchain, under that umbrella, when it fell apart for Meta, the people who were developing that project, they branched off and created 2 new projects, 2 new blockchains. And this is one of them, Aptos. What I really like about these 2, and I spoke about this in the how to research cryptocurrency class, one thing that you want to key on when trying to find gems, like true gems, is finding where big money is going. And Aptos, especially Aptos, for one, they're building a completely new form of a blockchain that's not being used, not proof of work, not proof of stake. They're using a completely different concept. And with that being said, they have big money partnerships, venture capitalists investing into these projects. So it puts me in the mind frame of what happened with Solana. Solana is where it is right now because it was so much of so many VCs pumping money into it. Avalanche is where it is. Not only Avalanche is dope though. Avalanche is where it is because so many VCs pumped money into it. The same exact things happening to these projects. One is Aptos. But let's pull up, and I'm gonna read this because I'm still studying this project. Aptos is a new independent high performance, is proof of, I don't think it's proof of stake. It's POS, but it's proof of something else. I read it. But a POS layer 1 project focused on delivering the safest, most scalable layer 1 blockchain in the world. That says a lot because I was just talking about scalability with Polygon. But let's keep going. The Aptos blockchain leverages the Move programming language. That's a completely different programming language that's being utilized in comparison to anything that's out there. The programming language that you'll see for most blockchains is typically, I think it's Solidity. That's what they're using.
Yeah, Solidity. Yeah, Solidity,
yeah,
Python,
so
yeah.
That is the primary language, coding language that's being utilized, especially anything that's been drafted out of Ethereum, which most proof of stake blockchains are. They're EVM compatible, which is Ethereum virtual machine compatible, meaning that anything that's on Ethereum can be ported over to that blockchain. Aptos allows that same function also. What it says here, Aptos raised 200 million from A1Z. I forget the real name of this. Multicoin. These are the venture capitalists that invest. And Binance. That's major. Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. They ain't even close. And they investing into this project. They have other. That's the short list. So many more people that invest into this project. Aptos launched DevNet in mid-March, incentivized testnet in late May, and targets Q3 for mainnet launch. So we're in Q3 right now. I got to look and find out when they planning to launch. But if I can get some of these early, and this ain't financial advice, but man, if y'all can get in on this, this could be y'all Solana at $5 or even cheaper because it could be that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna pull the website up real quick. Close that. Aptos could provide that. So they already have the incentivized testnet going live. So this is more so for developers to get on there and test stuff, break stuff, build stuff, and they'll be compensated for doing so. Y'all just look out for this. I'm still researching into this project. All those things that Loretta was speaking about, white paper, the team, seeing that they're docs. The team for this, they're fully docs, like you know who they are. You could check on the current stuff that's going on, all the developers, all that stuff is here. Look into this project because this could be that gem. This could go from being a idea to in the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap. And that says a lot. That means that you got billions of dollars invested into this project. They already have hundreds of millions of dollars invested into the development. So definitely look into this one. Like I said, I'm still doing my own research, but it is a project that I see having definite like potential and in the future.
A big thing about this too, D'Angelo, is before signing and the protocols actually go through, it's basically you have to approve it. It doesn't just automatically go through. Every time you do a transaction on this, you have to approve it. You know how some because you pre-approved it, and you can approve that on, you know, your wallets or anything like that. It'll just automatically go through. This is one of those, that extra safety feature in there. Like whenever you're doing something on this blockchain, you always have to approve it. So that's big too. I know a lot of people may not think so, but that is big. That means if you've basically your wallet won't get robbed. You have to approve.
Look, this is the other thing, and I can't remember if it was on Aptos or the one I'm about to show y'all. But remember how I'm always saying, write down your private keys. Yeah, you're gonna do that still. Maintain your private keys, store them away, make sure you don't lose them. These blockchains, one of them, I gotta look and see which one it is. No other blockchain is doing this. They're gonna have it to where you have a function to where you can recover your keys, but you don't have to interact with anybody else, which would cause a vulnerability, saying that this other entity holds your keys. You'll be able to recover your keys on your own, similar to how you have a forgot my password concept, and recover your keys. Right now, no blockchain has that at all. And if you lose your keys, say you had 50 Bitcoin back in 2011, you lost your keys, you never gonna get that back. You don't have to brute force attack it to try and figure out what you had as secret keys. One of these blockchains, which, like I said, one of them, they provide that function, which is major, because when you think about it, it's really stupid that you don't have a function where you can recover your keys. And I'm saying it's stupid because I lost some keys last year, and I got some crypto that I really don't care about, but I care about because I put a little bit of money and I had a lot of money at some point, and I don't have the keys to it no more. I ain't gonna speak on it, but
no, we're not gonna speak on it.
If it had the function to recover those keys in it, like, I wouldn't have no problem. I would have those assets and the value right now. But yeah, that is major. So
you got to have you got to have a digital wallet to trade crypto.
You don't need a digital wallet. No, you don't need it.
It's not good to trade on Webull and stuff like that, is it?
So I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't trade. Do anything with cryptocurrency on primarily stock exchanges. Right. I wouldn't do that at all. Because for one, they'll tell you in some form or fashion that you like it's free, no trading fees and stuff like that, but you don't get the best rate. So like the true value of Bitcoin may be at 20,000 flat, but you may be paying 20,200. You see what I'm saying? So they find different ways to, you know, finagle that dollar out of you. And that's one of the ways. The spread is completely different to what the true value is. So I don't suggest purchasing any cryptocurrency. Not to mention,
the reason why Robinhood had that big old lawsuit is how they robbed people when they cashed out of Doge.
Yep. So you don't want to trade crypto on, you know, brokers like that. You want to trade crypto on trading exchanges. Like that's one of the primary functions of that exchange. And it's crypto exchange.
And what are the major trading exchanges?
So there's a bunch of them out there, but the preferred ones, we have a channel in the Discord called Preferred Trading Crypto Trading Exchanges. The ones that are in there are KuCoin, Bybit, BitGet, and then Moody and myself and a few other people, we trade crypto in the foreign exchange market on MetaTrader 4. So those are ways that you can trade crypto. There's plenty other ways and other exchanges, but those are the ones that we utilize. So let's keep it moving though. That's Aptos, and we're gonna keep it moving to the next. The next one comes from that same umbrella of Meta, Facebook guys, and it performs under a similar breakdown or blockchain, and it's called SUI. I think it's pronounced SUI. But if you read this, it sounds very similar to the other one. SUI is the first permissionless layer 1 blockchain designed from the ground up to enable creators, developers to build experiences that cater to the next billion users in Web3. SUI is horizontally scalable to support a wide range of application development with unrivaled speed at a low cost. So everything that I mentioned about Aptos is practically what I would say about SUI also. The potential is there. You have some, like, think about the people who develop on Meta or Facebook. Like, they are world class. Like, they're not getting no, somebody that just, not bashing anybody, just learn the code like on their own. Like, they really getting the top tier people to develop stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't the greatest stuff that they develop for social media, when they looking for something that's new and innovative, they trying to find the top tier people. And these are the people who are developing these two budding blockchains with Aptos and SUI. But let's pull the website up. I don't think SUI has as many venture capitalists pumping into it as Aptos, but it does have some. Let me pull it up. And the potential of these ecosystems developing within the next bull run could be really major. Build without boundaries, step function change and blockchain design. Like,
their LinkedIn is legit too. I'm on their LinkedIn page right now. So
yeah. So a lot of blockchains, they talk about instant finality, and which is not completely true in most cases. Like with Solana, like, it does process transactions very fast, but they're not always final when the transaction processes. That's why Solana has a lot of errors or failures on their chain. Especially as it starts to get more throughput, they start to have a lot of failures, but they're saying that they have instant finality, low fees, fast AF. Yeah. So I'm really like interested into these projects. SUI does use proof of stake. So,
and they're venturing off. They're venturing off into gaming and stuff like that as well.
Yep.
They're trying to do like make it well-rounded.
Yeah, I see the gaming here. Yeah, that's that. So, like I said, I'm still researching into, and me and Loretta, we're gonna be down in some rabbit holes on these projects.
Yes.
Like I said, we found 17 other blockchains that are budding, have new faces, new developments, new concepts, and we're going to dig into them and bring them back to the community so we can capitalize on the opportunities. But this is one that I see a lot of potential in, because, people, or not people, but institutions, VCs are pumping their money into them. So the last one that I want to talk about, and I thought I pulled it. Hold on. The last one there it is. The last one I want to talk about, this concept is extremely interested to me. It's called Neon. Now, I know I've lately, in most recent months, I've been bashing Solana, but it does have some of the fastest transaction fees, high throughput, all that good stuff. This project here combines the best of both worlds with Ethereum's, development and, its ecosystem, but operating on a similar concept of Solana. Like, it's combining those two chains, which, like, if you think about it, of all the blockchains that get talked about, Ethereum and Solana are likely the ones that get talked about the most, especially when you think about NFT sector and stuff like that. Solana has a lot of like weight in the cryptocurrency world, but to have a project that's trying to build something that combines both of them is crazy. So you see it here. Neon is a fully Ethereum compatible environment on Solana. So you see the little puzzle pieces connecting Ethereum to it's connecting Ethereum to Neon and Solana to Neon. It's providing an infrastructure that does all of these things here. You can do all the Solidity smart contracts. That's the language that's on Ethereum. But then you have the function of all of the liquidity from Solana, the low transaction fees, and the speed from Solana. So this project, I'm definitely digging into more. They've not launched the mainnet yet. They're currently just checked off the pre-alpha. They're in the alpha phase, and they'll be into the beta version, which will launch on Solana's mainnet, then the gamma, and then they'll launch the full thing that's full-fledged. So they do have opportunities where you can become an operator. I got to dig into this more to what that truly means, but I'm following this project close like I just talked about the other ones. This could be your Solana. This could be your Avalanche. This could be your Phantom of the next bull run. So you heard it here. If these come up and you're like, dang, D-Wiz was talking about it, man, Loretta was talking. Hey, y'all heard it here first. If this is your first time hearing it, Neon, Aptos, and Sui could be those projects that develop in the next bull run that could really go from zero to hero for sure. So that's the last one as far as altcoin gems. But I do want to get into the last agenda, and that would be our top market news. And the only thing that I have for y'all this week is, let me close this here. Close these. So many years ago, there was this centralized exchange. And, you know, like I said, there's been a lot of centralized exchange. This is why I always tell you, I don't bash centralized exchanges, but if you're going to hold a significant amount of crypto on anywhere, I'd suggest you don't hold it on a centralized exchange, because you still are seeing in this bear market now them go belly up. So what I suggest is you use a non-custodial wallet to maintain your crypto. So Mt. Gox is a former centralized exchange that went belly up, you know, ran away with 137,000 Bitcoin many years ago. I'm not gonna get into the story, but in their process of returning these funds or this Bitcoin, you know, the price of Bitcoin has significantly rose since then. This was, what was this, 2015 time frame when this initially occurred. So leading up to this article here about Mt. Gox, they were expecting 137,000 Bitcoin to possibly being dumped on the market, because everybody was going to be released that Bitcoin to do whatever they want with. And a lot of people that may have gotten Bitcoin for under $500, now it's up to $20,000. Oh, that was like, hey, that's a nice little present for them, and they likely would have sold. So that's not gonna occur. Like it says here, Mt. Gox will not be releasing the Bitcoin and will delay the distribution once again. So that's good news, but at some point, those Bitcoin will come back on the market, and you'll either see people continue to hold that Bitcoin, which if they still believe in the crypto and Bitcoin, and they still have access to retrieve that Bitcoin, they could, you know, continue to hodl. But a lot of people that have lost confidence, oh, they're gonna dump, and you're gonna see the price value of Bitcoin react to that. If it gets delayed later on this year, that could cause us to get that bottom that I talked about many times. So definitely keep that on your radar. Like I said, it was delayed again. Excuse me. It was delayed again to distribute that 137,000 Bitcoin to all the people who held it. But this could be a black swan event. it also could not if the people still believe in Bitcoin and they just want to hold it. But that is the market news for the week. And I want to roll into the AMA. If y'all have any questions in here, we're gonna, get on to those questions. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself, but let me check the chat to see if there are any questions.
I've been trying to keep up.
Oh yeah, I see Loretta answering some questions in here. Jaquel said that about the audit status. Okay,
And I'm
Loretta.
still researching that.
Okay, yep. Okay, no questions here, no questions. iPhone said, I remember when MATIC was at 3 cents. So
yes,
yeah.
I did too.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I did too.
So
I just want to tell y'all real quick, not to interrupt you, D'Angelo, I'm so sorry.
You good. No, you good.
Because I know a lot of people don't believe in crypto. They're like, how does this work? And it just seems like it's monopoly money. I've heard that a lot, and it's hard. There's so many steps. And I'll be honest, like I got into crypto just last year, as a matter of fact, January of last year, I think it was. D'Angelo, was it? Has it been 2 years, or has it just been one?
It's man. No, it's over a year. It's been over. Yeah. It's been over that. It's been over that.
So when I got in, I wasn't, I didn't have good mentors like we have now. It was, go buy this, go buy that. I really didn't know what I was buying. I didn't know why I was buying it. And I was sending my money into space. I know y'all have heard that before, where you're sending money to a wallet and you copy the wrong address, and your money is just gone. I can't tell you how much Ethereum is just out there. Somebody got blessed. And I made a lot of mistakes, but I started, like Luther was asking, how did you get into researching and how did you start going into the rabbit holes? And what I started doing is going on CoinGecko. That was my biggest thing, where I started with CoinGecko and then CoinMarketCap. And I started looking at those top 100 coins. And then I would go and, if I saw there was a lot of, people talking about it on social media, I was like, well, what's going on with this? And I'd go to their social media outlets, like I said, their YouTube pages, their Discords, their Twitter, and made sure that they were, a docs team. And I'll be honest, D'Angelo and Moody know my story. I was able to pay off $30,000 in debt. I was able to put, money down on buying my house. I had some, construction issues, and I had to call D'Angelo, like, I got to cash out my crypto. I didn't want to cash it out, but I'm glad I did. Because it went into a good cause. But, to date, just trading, being the way I am, I don't trade on an exchange, so to speak, like y'all do with, stocks and stuff. I would just buy it at the low and sell at the high. My biggest gain was Solana. I got into Solana when it was 5 and rode that all the way up to $200. And I was like, you know what? I even asked D'Angelo, I was like, would you sell? Yes, I would, at least my initial investment. So I took some really good gains and used that money to, get out of debt, to invest in another asset such as a home, and then being a single mom, retired veteran, that's huge to me. So it's just finding a good mentor, using the tools that are out here for you, and having confidence in yourself, not to give in to emotions, where I've got to buy it right now because everybody's talking about it. I'm going to miss the run up. You will not. And at first I was buy at the high, sell at the low. And that's definitely not how you want to trade. You want to buy low and sell high, where you can, buy back in at a lower rate and get a better, get more, CRO, same thing. I got in at CRO right around 3 to 5 cents. And it, like I said, it went all the way. I sold at 80 cents. But then I bought more. I didn't sell all of mine, but then I bought more things that I, wanted to buy. Now learning about borrowing on your assets, and, you don't have to put your money into it. That's just another realm of crypto. So if you're second guessing yourself in this field, if you're like, I can't figure it out, if there's a mistake that's there to be made, we've made it. So don't feel embarrassed. Definitely talk, because we don't want you to make the same mistakes we made. And we have made some huge mistakes where if we could go back in time, we would probably sit on a few more bags.
That's a fact.
So
I done made every
share
mistake.
I just wanted to share my story real quick to anybody that may just be like, I can't do this, or this is just so hard, or I don't know if this is for me. Ask questions, reach out. It's definitely something you can learn and you can feel confident in. So with that, D'Angelo, go ahead. I wanted to share that real quick.
No, I appreciate you, giving that commentary about how you got into this thing and how it started to make sense for you. So somebody had, Shadia says, hey D, can you list those 3 assets you said have potential, please? Yes, so the project that I listed was Aptos, APTOS, and the second one is SUI, SUI, and the last one is Neon Labs. I think that was the name of it. So yeah, definitely research those on your own. And Loretta just dropped them in there too. Research them on your own. We have a ton more, but those are ones that stood out just on the surface that we've been looking into. There's a ton more altcoin gems out there just in general. And honestly, we could be on here for another 5 hours covering all of them because there's so many more. Like all of these listed here, these are top coins. I wouldn't say Shiba, but it is.
Don't sleep on some Shiba.
I still got Shiba. I still own it.
I still got Shiba because I missed that Doge.
Yeah, so
I could be a millionaire right now.
Right. So
yeah, I got Shiba new too. I've been holding that for a while.
Hold it, man. Hold it.
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, how hard would it be to make like a ladder diagram on how to move the money around in this crypto space? Because there's just so many moving parts.
It won't be difficult at all. I've done it before. I've done it before to like explain how to purchase a coin or move it from one place to the next, because we've made that mistake. Like Loretta said, when you move cryptocurrency, you need to ensure that you are moving it from the correct blockchain to the correct blockchain.
Yep.
And if you don't, then it could be in space. Like she said, it'd be in space floating around and you'll never get it back.
The only saving grace was MetaMask. That was my only saving grace.
Yep, that's a fact.
When I sent Binance Atomic Wallet,
that's a fact.
I was able to get it back.
So we can do that. What I'd ask for you, you'd have to be specific on what you would want to move, because like I mentioned on 3 of these projects, is interoperability and multi-chain and the ability to move an asset from one location to the next seamlessly. It's not seamless. Like, it requires you to know about different platforms to make things work. It shouldn't be like that. It should be a lot easier. So just be specific on what cryptocurrency you want to move and where you want to move it. And I can create a step-by-step on how to do it in the cheapest way. Because that's what you
like
want.
Kind of like in general, like if I have, you got your bank account here, a credit card here, you got your MetaMask wallet here, whatever other wallet there, like, and then you want to stake over here. So I need to move money from here to here, then from here to here to go staking. If I want to get annoyed, I need to go from here to here to get annoyed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I definitely get you. But that's why I say,
is this who's this, Robert?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Robert. So another thing, I know D-Wiz probably gonna say this too, is whatever you were wanting to do, we would look at and see which blockchain you were, like if you wanted to get FLUX or if you wanted to get a node on Chronos or wherever, we would make sure that we use, I wouldn't say go to MetaMask, so to speak, at first, because it might be cheaper to buy it from the exchange and then put it into MetaMask. Or if it's on a different blockchain, such as like, let's just use Chronos, for example, and you could use their DeFi wallet because they actually have dApps within their wallet. you know, so it would just be like knowing that specific asset, the blockchain that you wanted to get that node, or stake in if you wanted to stake, just how you wanted to do it. Because if it was Binance, yes, we could use MetaMask and use the Binance Smart Chain with Pancake Swap. That sounds like a lot, right? But we could literally walk you through step by step. Or on Trust Wallet, because Trust is, you know, Trust is the same as MetaMask, but it deals more with the BSC tokens, so, or coins. So we could definitely, we just would need to know, because we don't want you to have to send it here to send it there to send it here when you could have just bought and sent right then. You know what I'm saying? So, and we don't want you to incur a lot of fees.
That's a fact. Yeah, we just need to know, like, specifically, like the coin that you want to move and what you're trying to do with it. Like if it's Flux and you wanted to, you know, provide or be a node operator, then we can figure that out and the steps to doing that.
It'd have to be on that Core wallet,
right.
And I'm still studying that. There's a lot to that wallet. So, and right now that's pretty much it. There's only 3 wallets, and you can do it on Serum Deck. So, you know, and the Ledger.
Yeah. So yeah, we would just need to know that specifically the coin that you're trying to move and what you're trying to do with it, and we'll figure out the cheapest, the fastest, the best way to get it to the location that you're trying to have it to perform the function that you want it to do. So you let us know that and we'll figure that out, bro. Let me see. Somebody said anything else in there? Jaquel said, I love Trust Wallet. Yeah, Trust Wallet actually is one of my favorite wallets, honestly. Like I like Trust Wallet over MetaMask, but the thing with MetaMask, it allows you to you can embed other wallets within MetaMask. Most wallets don't have that function. So like I have the Atomic wallet and I can view everything from my Atomic wallet within my MetaMask wallet by just connecting it through what MetaMask provides. So
and MetaMask is desktop, you know, too. I like the fact that you can use it PC or on your phone. Same thing with Atomic.
So Tim said, I have moved crypto from Coinbase to Robinhood to increase buying power. Yeah, you could do that because Robinhood now, it has a non-custodial wallet to my knowledge. I don't use any of the stuff to buy crypto on Robinhood because I don't use any, you know, primarily stock brokerages for anything crypto related. But yeah, you do have that ability to do something like that, but I don't.
And I mean, I'll research it just so we know in case anybody does do that and feels comfortable. We'll get familiar with that process just in case we got to help anybody.
Most definitely. Because Robinhood is moving in a direction to where you have non-custodial options. And the fact that they're doing that, it shows some sense of they care to some extent, to where they don't want to be viewed as, you know, robbing you from their centralized exchange because people have found out.
It's also good for anybody that trades on the regular that use Robinhood. It's familiar to you. So that would definitely, you know, I'll start tapping into that. I'm going to make a note of that.
Yeah. But make sure, like I said, the crypto that's on Robinhood, the brokerage, like that crypto belongs to Robinhood. If you're using their non-custodial wallet, like you own that crypto because it's backed by a private key. So just keep that in mind. Tim said, I only do Bitcoin and ETH though. Oh yes. And you good, bro. I mean, are you buying Bitcoin and ETH, or so you're moving crypto from Coinbase to Robinhood to buy more Bitcoin and ETH on Robinhood? Is that what you're doing? Or are you using the crypto assets to convert it to dollars and then trade with it or buy stocks or do something else? What you trying to do, man? Because if you're buying Bitcoin and ETH on Robinhood, you fall, okay, move the coins to Robinhood, sell and buy trades. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
And I don't know if
That
y'all
makes
know.
a lot of sense.
yeah,
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 I
it's
don't know
cool.
if y'all know on Cash App as well. A lot of beginner people that just want to buy Bitcoin, Cash App has that option for you.
That's a
Cash
fact.
App has it where you
That's
can
a
buy
fact.
Bitcoin, and the fees are so minute. I mean, it's like 50 cents. I mean, it's if you look at Coinbase, I think to send something from Coinbase is at least $12, $7.50 to $12. I know that's not a lot to a lot of people, but that's still what you could have had in Bitcoin, so or Ethereum. So just remember that to look at Cash App, because that's also a great tool for cashing out your assets too. I'll go into that later. We won't even get down that road, but that's a treat to get out of paying fees. Me and D'Angelo, I was showing him, so that's something we'll have to do a class on.
I appreciate y'all. I gotta go to bed, but I appreciate y'all, and I will be reaching out to y'all on that. But I'm too old for this. I'm too old.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Hey, look,
bro.
everybody that dropped the question or participated, send me a DM. Like I said in the chat on Discord, I will be rewarding y'all with something, but y'all have to get in touch with me via DM on the Discord.
I dropped my socials in the chat as well if y'all need to find me on Discord. That way y'all can DM me as well if you have any questions. I put my email in there as well.
Yep. So like always, hey, I appreciate all y'all being here. If y'all could drop some testimonials in the testimonial channel, give us some good feedback, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. And I hope y'all like, having my friend Loretta on, giving her insight and her perspective.
She's my
on these
friend.
altcoins.
She's my friend, bro. Chill out, bro. Chill out.
Hey, we about
You don't
to
gotta use my friend.
We about to kick Rudy out the. We about.
You
to
can
kick
say
Rudy
battle, because I can't say battle. She's my friend. That's your battle, bro.
You're right. That is my battle. Battle is stronger than fans. So look.
Man.
So.
And also, if there's any veterans in the house, I also help with stuff like that too. So, or if you know anybody. So
yeah. Loretta,
we do everything.
man. Multifaceted. So definitely, man, she's a joy to be around and a joy to learn from and help. So, but like I said, drop some in the general chat for us, good, bad, and indifferent. Drop some in the testimony if you enjoyed what you heard tonight and the gems that we dropped. And we're gonna roll, man. And I'm gonna stop this recording. Where we at? I'm gonna stop my share first. Stop that.